Right, so I caught a whole pile of heat for my Scud Running video. So I thought, let's have a follow-on. Let's talk about Scud Running, why I did it, why you shouldn't do it, and why I won't do it again if I can help it. I'm Nick Holmes. I'm a fueling automation engineer, a voluntary rescue technician, and a passionate aviator. Join me as I take you through learning to fly and onto the adventures of backcountry aviation in South Africa. So, by definition, Scud, according to the internet, Scud is small, rugged, low cloud fragments that are unattached to larger cloud bases, often seen leading or lagging cold fronts and thunderstorm gust fronts, which is exactly what we saw. There was a thunderstorm gust front coming through, and we had those wispy clouds that I mistook as haze, and I will show you how easy it is to mistake it as haze. And yeah, I flew into it. Anyway, so what is Scud running? In general aviation, Scud running is a practice in which pilots lower their altitude to avoid clouds or IMC, instrument meteorological conditions. The goal of Scud running is to stay clear of the weather and continue flying with visual rather than instrument references. Otherwise, it is also known as the weather is really shit to go IFR, so let's go VFR. So how I ended up in a Scud situation, or Scud running, the airfield was great, broken overhead clouds at about, I'd say 3,000 foot. Our circuit pattern is 1,500 feet, brilliant separation between our upper circuit and the clouds. When you get to the coast, you drop to 1,000 foot, so even greater separation. Brilliant. Thought, okay, cool, we'll turn out over the coast and we will go and do a little bit of a flight and show you how thunderstorms build in the summer months of South Africa. There was a great storm front brewing over the ocean. You could see there was this nice big column of cloud, which is very common. It's exactly how it forms, and nothing untoward about it. Broken overhead, scattered, was great. So flying towards that cloud front, I didn't think anything different of it. And basically when I hit the coast and I turned to fly south, I noticed that it was very hazy, and that's also quite common in summer months, so didn't worry about it.
Flipping hazy today, yeah. Yeah, you get that, so every now and again it's quite hazy. Which is what caught me out last weekend, because I thought it was like this, but it was actually the cloud blowing in.
So I caught heat for my decision to continue flying south a little bit further before turning around, in case it closed in behind me. So why I continued flying south, I had a tailwind. From my position of saying that I was going to fly a little further south before turning around, there was an out at that point.
The Scotborough airfield is in the trees over there. There. Yeah. See where that square clearing is? The runway runs down the side here. That's not far from you. Yeah. That's my out. When, like last weekend when I hit the bad weather, that was my out. Because I can just drop right down here, cut across the top of the houses, and just bomb in there if I have to. You get stuck if you landed on the golf course. Yeah, that as well, if I had to.
So just a little bit further from me was another airfield at sea level. So that was a perfect, my out. That was my 100% out if it got worse heading south, and if I turned to fly north and it was shit behind me, I was going straight into Scottsboro Airfield, no questions asked, and that was that. Another reason I decided to just descend and fly, the cloud base on the coast here never gets to the floor. It will always be 100, 200 foot from the floor. So we can descend, fly special VFR underneath it, and that again was my out. So I decided that I would drop to 200 foot and head north. There's a lighthouse on the river. That was my turning point to fly inland. And if I could not climb that valley out to 900 feet, which would give me a safe approach directly into runway 04 at the home base, I would turn around and head back to the coastal airfield. So that was why I continued to fly, and why I did what I did. What I should have done, completely different story. I think it's a learning experience, big time learning experience, and I won't ever, if I can absolutely help it, will not purposefully decide to scud run. What I think I should have done when I first realized that it was cloud and not haze, I should have immediately executed a homeward turn. It was absolutely clear above our airfield, and I could have just gone and flown in the circuit and just flown around above the field instead of coast-wise, but I had it in my mind that I was going to fly to the Sazella Mill and just go and have a look down there. So first mistake, object fixation versus object reality. So that's what I should have done. There were no telltale signs at the time of takeoff, so I couldn't have said, oh, the clouds were blowing over, I should have just sat on the ground for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever. There was absolutely no telltale. It was a straight northeasterly wind. It had been a hot morning, afternoon thunderstorm brewing, stock standard South African summer afternoon. There was nothing I could have done differently on that part besides just not flown, just because. The scud running itself really did scare the shit out of me, to be honest. I got really nervous of it getting closer to the deck. Once I got to the 900 foot mark and I could see the airfield, I knew it was fine. There was no ways that I was going to have any issues there because I still had some good clearance in. But don't do it. That's all I'm going to say. Don't scud run, because shit comes out of clouds faster than you enter the cloud. Try and avoid forcefully lowering yourself to make it through weather. There's a difference between purposefully flying low in good weather conditions. You're well aware of your surroundings, you know you're flying low, you can see everything. Flying scud corridors, jeez, like cables, electrical poles, trees, full-blown mountains come out of that stuff really quickly. So you're bombing a corridor instead of an actual valley. Don't do it. Rather don't do it. Lessons learned. A week's worth of heat, people going, oh, that was a stupid move, you shouldn't have done this, you should have done this. Many 100-hour pilots here, this is your mistakes. Great, thanks guys. The purpose of me putting the video out was to get pilots to talk, pilots to admit that they've made mistakes and that this is my mistake, this is why you shouldn't do it because of this, and this. Brilliant. If we can each teach another pilot a lesson and explain why it shouldn't be done and help them from making the same mistake that could potentially become a costly mistake, that was the purpose of posting the Scud video. I did not think, oh, that's great, that's going to get 100 views, 100,000 views, a million views. It wasn't a viewership post. It was I cocked up unintentionally, and this is how quickly it goes wrong. Here's my story. I learned my lesson, and stay away from clouds. So, thumbs up for the video, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, don't scud run.